Hello there, and welcome to the lesson on inner and outer intention. This is a challenging lesson because it's very easy to describe inner intention, but outer intention remains a little bit elusive for those who have not yet grasped the concept of it, as well as frailing, but primarily outer intention. So this lesson is to teach you what I possibly can. I have a brief example that I will give also that helps a lot. And this brief example has actually taken me nearly 5 years to come up with to describe the difference between inner intention, outer intention, and frailing to the best of my ability in the easiest manner possible. The best way to harness the power of outer intention is to first acknowledge when you actually feel it, and then practice seeing material and information and things that your world is presenting to you via outer intention. Start focusing on practicing not only seeing this stuff in external reality, but then harnessing the ability to take the things that are being presented to you and using them in a way that you no longer have to work with inner intention anymore. Your world becomes much more simplistic, easier, your energy levels are higher, and things just work out much better for you in your reality. And this is exactly what happened to me, and it has been awesome. I am rarely working from a place of inner intention any longer, and I just let my world bring me what it is I need, and my world does so. And lots of the things that my world does bring me via outer intention are much better things than I could have strived for with inner intention, using inner intention. So with that, I will get started. The magical power of intention and inner and outer intention. We can roughly define intention as determination to have and to act. Intention gets realized and not desire. Wish to raise your hand, the idea is formed in your mind. You are aware that you want to raise your hand, but will the wish raise it? No. Desire by itself does not produce any action. Your hand will lift only when you are not focused on the thought for the desire, and only the determination to act has remained. Perhaps determination will raise your hand. Also no. You took the final decision to raise it, but it still does not move. What will raise it up then? Now comes the helplessness of the mind to give a convincing explanation of what is intention. The definition that intention means to have a determination to have and act is only a prelude to the power that implements the action. Now we can only state the fact that the arm is raised, not by desire and not by determination, but by intention. Intention is divided into external and internal. Internal intention is related to actively influencing the world, a determination to act. The external intention or outer intention is a determination to have when the world becomes subject to human will. Internal intention focuses on the process of our own movements towards the goal. External or outer focuses attention on how the goal gets realized by itself. A goal is achieved using inner intention, while it is selected using outer or external intention. Everything about the magic and the paranormal refers to outer intention, And what can be achieved within the normal worldviews is achieved using the power of internal or inner intention. Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you before I continue on with this lesson. This is really the easiest example that I have been able to come up with. So let's say that you are vacationing in a city you don't know very well. And you wake up in the morning and the hotel tells you that they're out of coffee, that there's no coffee available. So I'm going to present 3 different scenarios. Primarily, we're focusing on inner intention and outer intention here. This scenario displays the difference of where you act from. Okay, so in the first scenario, this is going to be the inner intention scenario. Agitated, you leave a cup of coffee. Okay, let's say that you get into a car, you have a car rental, and you drive around the town looking for a cafe where you can get a cup of coffee, a little bit agitated, you don't have a map, you don't have your phone on you, and you drive around searching for that cup of coffee, okay, with the intention to find that cup of coffee yourself. The second scenario is you using outer intention. The hotel tells you that they're out of coffee, and you get yourself dressed and say to yourself, I'm going to go sightseeing. And if I happen to see a cafe, perfect, I'll get my cup of coffee. So then driving around or walking around, just being in the moment, looking at the sights, looking at the architecture, enjoying your vacation. And then as soon as you see a cafe, you go in and you get your cup of coffee. That easy. You didn't have to look for it. You just set the intention to have a cup of coffee, and then you waited until your world presented you with an opportunity to connect with that cup of coffee. So let's say you go down to the concierge and you say, oh wow, you know, I would really enjoy having coffee in the room. Is there anything I could do to have someone go out and fetch me a pot of coffee? And maybe there is something that you could use in the favor of you getting the coffee from the concierge or the kitchen. Maybe you say something and relay, oh, you know, I don't actually need a pot of coffee. Maybe I could get some tea, or maybe you guys have some instant coffee, or you could do something to allow them to favor you, and you receive the coffee in return. So this is the 3 different places you can work from. You can work from inner intention, which is inner will, you trying to enforce your desire on your reality, achieving the goal, right? Going and actively achieving the thing. Outer intention is you harnessing what your world energetically, or what your world is bringing to you that's in line with what it is you intend to have, and allowing your world to then present to you what it is you want. Then there is frailing, you doing something to influence another human being that's positive. It might just be asking in a kind manner, and then that person producing for you what it is you want, but you giving them something in return, or to begin with, rather, that allows them to then give you what you are asking for in return. So we will go a little more deeply into all of this. It is not the desire that is realized, but the intention, the resoluteness to have and to act. Okay, so that's why a lot of people desiring stuff, this is why the law of attraction typically does not work for people, is because people believe that if they desire something, it will manifest into their reality. But the difference between reality transurfing and other reality creation modalities, primarily the law of attraction, is that transurfing puts in the resoluteness to have and to act. It's fusing your desire with your thought energy and action or intention. Okay, inner intention is the concentration of attention on how the goal gets realized by you. Okay, so inner intention is the concentration of attention on how the goal gets realized by you. The goal is achieved by inner intention and by outer intention simply choosing. Okay, so again, leaving the hotel, I want a cup of coffee, but I'm not going to go drive around and be irritated or go searching for it. I'm just going to go about my business. And then when my world wants to connect me with my intention, I have set it in my mind and I will see it when it presents itself to me in my external environment. The only thing that does make sense is your intention to choose. Okay, so what reality transurfing is presenting us with here is that this option makes so much more sense than other options because it is the least energetic output, that you don't have to do a lot to connect with what it is you intend to have. You simply have to be aware. You have to set your intention. You have to tune your thought frequency to that thing. And then you have to move about your reality or environment, taking action in the direction of that thing. Okay, so that's you walking around or driving around the city, regardless if you're looking for it or not. And then outer intention is the alternatives flow, really, just bringing that desired thing along to you. Intention unites desire and action. Okay, again, I just said that, but this is a powerful, powerful bit on how to actually receive. You're not going to get $1 million by sitting on your couch at home thinking about $1 million. But if you have the desire for $1 million, you've tuned your thought frequency to $1 million, you accept that that is a variation of tracks or lifelines in your reality that you could tap into. And then you fulfill the requirements after that, like actually taking action. This is how something materializes. Inner intention strives to impact the outside world directly. Okay, so again, you driving around the European city looking for that cup of coffee. This is you striving to impact the world outside of you directly. You are searching for something. Outer intention is you declaring what you want and then waiting for your world to produce, your outside world to produce it directly to you without you having to do anything else. As Vadim states, it might seem that there is a contradiction in reality transurfing. He is calling to attention the difference between the idea that our thoughts transport us onto a corresponding life track and our thoughts not being enough to transport us to our desires. What is Vadim attempting to clarify here? Okay, so this is, I know it's a little bit, there's a lot of nuance in what I just said there, but this is what reality transurfing, the essence of it, what it is really, really about. And that is that your thoughts alone are not enough to transport you to a more favorable life track, okay? You have to take this action or harness the power of outer intention and work from there. You can also use inner intention. That's totally fine. But what you can do from your limited inner place is not going to achieve the same results as outer intention. And outer intention is going to take a lot less energy. So you can get much more done designing to outer intention and stop using inner. So it's you working with your world 50-50 rather than you using 100% your will, which is exhausting. And again, you do not have, we don't possess the same abilities internally. We're limited in our nature. We're limited in what we can think of. We're limited in what sort of opportunity we can drum up for ourselves. We're limited in a lot of different ways that the world, our world, is not limited in. So giving it up to your world, you are going to open up the realm of possibilities, opportunities, material stuff that you would never have been able to on your own. So the difference between, and I know I gave a long-winded answer here, but I'm going to read the answer from the lesson. The difference between desiring something and hoping that your thought energy will be enough to transport you to a lifeline where your desire exists just for you, and the point that you must initiate the intent to have what you desire will ultimately facilitate your movement towards your object of desire. Desire is simply not enough. One foot must be placed in front of the other with coordinated intent. Okay, so again, what is going to fuel that one foot in front of the other? Is it going to be inner intention or trusting outer intention? Why is it that higher powers cannot assist you in achieving what you desire? Okay. Again, reaching to your higher powers is the same as hoping or dreaming for what you desire. The willingness to act and the intent to drive your own personal movements forward are key to success when achieving what you desire. Desire is the concentration of attention on the goal itself. Okay, this is why most people don't have what they want in their world. This is why there's a lot of lack. This is why there's a lot of dissatisfaction. This is why there is a lot of desire, because desire is the concentration of attention on the goal itself. People aren't working in the space that it takes to achieve the desire. They're just sitting there saying, I want something, I want that goal, but they're not harnessing outer intention or even using inner intention. So the worst thing that you can do is nothing. The second best thing you can do is go towards your goal with inner intention. The best thing that you could do is harness the power of outer intention and receive your goal. It doesn't mean that you don't work though. This is really, really, really crucial to understanding this concept. You don't sit at home on your couch waiting for outer intention to bring you what you want. Just like the person at the hotel is not going to sit at the hotel desiring a cup of coffee to just come into the hotel. They need to move about the European city with the intention that they will then see the coffee once it appears, okay? Or use inner intention and go and search for the coffee, but remember, that's not ideal. Inner intention is the concentration of attention on how the goal is realized by you. Okay, we already went over that one. Sorry, inner intention achieves the goal and outer intention chooses it. This is really something that has to be kind of like tattooed on your brain. So when you feel tired, when you feel depleted, when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, check in and ask yourself, where am I working from? Am I working from inner intention, or am I working with outer intention? Inner intention is resoluteness in the decision to act. This is you saying, I'm going to go get that cup of coffee. Outer intention gives the green light for the autonomous realization of the goal. This is perfect. This is perfectly worded. These are actually Vadim's words, and he said it perfectly. Outer intention gives the green light for the autonomous realization of the goal. Okay, going out into your world with the intention that you're going to receive the cup of coffee, and then simply waiting until the cafe appears. If you want to exercise control over outer intention, you have to wake up. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. So what I like to say, and what is 100% true for me, is that when I have importance on seeing something play out in a way that I have deemed the way that I want to see it play out, if I have importance there, and I'm using inner intention, I'm asleep, and I will not see outer intention bring me what it is I'm looking for in an easier fashion, because my perspective, my perception is focusing on how I will realize that goal. And this is advanced transurfing. When you can figure out exactly what it is that I'm talking about now and switch over to outer intention, you don't have to try to do anything anymore. You just have to maintain awareness for your world to present to you what it is you intend to have. Outer intention is the unity of heart and mind. This is where all this stuff starts to tie in. When I am coordinated, when my heart says yes and my mind says yes, and I've got that coordination going about a goal, outer intention is seen like that. I am plugged into my world. And as soon as I see something via outer intention, I have that little flare up of sensation that, oh, there it is. You don't have to do anything. It just came to you. Outer intention is the power that makes transurfing possible. Wow. What a statement there. This is really the nuts and bolts of transurfing. It's you switching your perspective from your internal will and start to harness and utilize the will of your external environment. How does our will negatively affect the application of outer intention? Will comes directly from ego, which of course is energy surrounding self and is generated and housed within. When you involve your own personal will, you are not taking into consideration the outer will of the subject at hand and end up working from a very limited space. If you consider the will of the subject you are connecting with, there is much more energy to work with. Okay, so again, inner will, inner intention, you searching for the answer or the subject or the thing that's going to help you to realize your intention. These are energy exhaustive measures. The energy of working with outer intention does not start and stop with you as it does with inner intention. Okay, brilliantly put here. I can't remember if these are my words or Vadim's, but this is really getting down to the root of why the energy of working with outer intention does not start and stop with you as it does with inner intention. Again, there is so much more available externally that your world will connect you with. So much more. If you're working from inner intention, you're working from an incredibly limited space in a lot of different ways. You are going to lower your energy levels. And of course, lower energy levels mean that you're more susceptible to pendulums, which can hit you off your lifeline. There's all sorts of things that can transpire because your energy levels get depleted on your way to your goal. You could get caught up in an induced transition, right? So this is where all these concepts start getting tied in and start really working together. And now it is time, since you have gotten this far, now it is time to really start acknowledging what is driving you towards your goals. Are you tired? Are you not in heart and mind alignment? And again, we'll get into heart and mind alignment in the next lesson. But if you are using inner intention, whatever you are using an inner intention for probably isn't for you. Because if you were going after something intended for you that your heart and mind agree with, outer intention will fuel that fire. You won't have to search or actively seek out anything. Everything will come up to you that you are intended to have. So why does Vadim state that he does not know of any exercises that specifically develop a feeling for outer intention? Working with outer intention is a subtle practice that must truly be felt in order to be a successful tool. Outer intention is not something that can be summed up easily or even taught. Working with outer intention takes practice as well as simply understanding when you are working from inner and outer intention. So there's something that I like to do. It's become almost automatic at this point. I don't even really have to try, because now my inner observer just notifies me when I'm working with inner intention too much, which is kind of rare. I really have sort of been coasting using outer intention for a number of years now. Once in a while, I'll do it, especially if I'm starting up a new endeavor and I want to launch it, or I want to, really like see this goal come into reality. Sometimes I'll get notified by my inner observer, hey, you're working with inner intention. And usually now what I do when that happens is I put a time limit on it. So I go, okay, oh, you're working with inner intention. How long can you do that? Oh, I can do that maybe 2 more days until the thing's done, but whatever it is I'm doing. But after that, if that inner intention feeling continues, I know that I'm not going towards the right goal. I use inner intention with a time limitation. I use inner intention when I don't see outer intention necessarily helping me, and I decide that I want to really see something to the end very quickly, but it's a very, very short period of time. Otherwise, I am completely resigned to outer intention. And I really couldn't even give you an example of the last time I used inner intention. That's how infrequently I do use it. But yes, I would say to those of you that are watching this, that are struggling with understanding the difference in what it feels like, to wake up a couple of times a day and just ask yourself, where am I working from? Am I working in a place that outer intention has connected me and I'm doing something that I feel I'm plugged into my external environment via outer intention, or have I been using inner intention? Am I using it right now? Have I been using it too long? Is the level of inner intention I'm using maintainable? So that's the main thing, is that inner intention is not maintainable long term. That's why some people go to university and start studying something that they don't really like. And towards the end of their education, they're completely disenchanted and tired and everything, because they've been rocking inner intention way too long. And it's challenging to maintain actualizing that goal via inner intention only. So give some examples of the use of outer intention: discovering and giving to others what they need in order for them to extend things to you, which you desire. Asking a prospective employee what would help him rather than rattling off a list of things that you feel you are capable of. I will get into this in a moment. Reaching out to your spouse to fulfill what they need in order to feel joy and comfort, in order for you to receive the things you desire from them them instead of demanding what you feel. This is a little more in line with frailing, okay? If you, let's say you're going to a job interview, okay? And I believe that Vadim actually gives this example in the book, that you're going to a job interview and you really, really, really want this job. Inner intention would be you trying to convince the person interviewing you that you're capable. Outer intention would be you connecting with this person, and frailing would be you connecting with this person in a way where you're asking what it is that you could do, and then that thing coming to you much more easily than you trying to convince. So a thorough understanding of how inner and outer intention works is clearly one of the fundamentals and most powerful tools you can develop with the help of reality transurfing. Much can be achieved through the work of inner intention. However, the use of outer intention is like operating a well-oiled machine, as opposed to a machine that does not operate in an ideal manner. Working with inner intention has many downsides, including a continual loss of energy, stress from toiling and worrying, and being regarded as someone who cares little for anyone else or anything and is left to gain small successes alone. Outer intention, on the other hand, is the essence of magic. When working with outer intention, life becomes simpler, easier, and much more of your desires come to you as if carried by a fresh current of water. You will no longer feel as though you are fighting the world for what you are owed. It will simply come to you. Okay, so the homework that I'm presenting here, I said it a little bit earlier, study where you work from most. Is it with inner or outer intention or frailing? Wake up when you are dealing with people, be it on a professional level, with family, your spouse, and friends. Ask yourself where you are working from in each scenario, inner or outer intention. Attempt to shift your intention outward when you are working from a place of ego and will, and notice the difference. Okay, so I just want to touch on frailing a little bit more, because I know that I don't really pay it too much attention in this lesson, and it should be clarified a little bit better. Frailing is outer intention just with another person. So instead of you trying to convince someone that you need something, you ask them either point blank verbally or with your own actions what you can give them that will allow them to want to give you what you are striving to achieve. So, and then outer intention is you doing this with the world. So it's really the same energetic action. It's just one's directed at a person and the other is directed at your world. So if you want something, right, and you have thrown it to outer intention to help you realize this thing, then what can you do that's going to help outer intention connect you with what it is you intend to have, be, or do? And it's the exact same with another person. What can you do in favor of that person that will allow them or will convince them to give you what it is you intend to have or be, right? Remember the interviewer. The example is try to ask the interviewer what it is they're looking for. An interviewer probably sits and listens to everyone rattle off an inner intention list. But if you can switch it around and say, hey, what do you need? What could I do for you? Then you have sort of highlighted the fact that you want to work together with this person, and it's the same with your world. And then that stuff comes up to you much easier than you using or working from a place of ego and will. So I hope I clarified it. I hope that this is enough for you to start at least harnessing the sensation or recognizing when outer intention does in fact bring you something. And yes, we'll keep this one open for discussion. Stay tuned for the next one, heart and mind coordination and goals and doors.